Good morning, good morning, fight fans around the world. I am live for the reflections video of yesterday. Um, Everybody's been talking. I'm just fresh out of the bed. I am minutes out of the bed, you know, about to do some grounding. If you don't know what that is where you take walks in the grass. Okay? You take walks in the grass and you become one with nature. It helps your immune system and all that good stuff. But anyway, I'm distracting myself. um, Man, I gotta tell you, am I disappointed? Yeah, I think everybody is to a certain degree. We got the final boss, Luca Mora, planting your feet on the earth, bare feet. Yep. Jay, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Cisco Perez, what's up, brother? Daniel Pines, absolutely. It relieves stress, so I'm relieving stress. It's not just stress, it's just disappointment. Disappointment can lead to stress. I don't want to be stressed today. I had a decent night of rest, I guess. Anis Amara, good day, sir. Zurdo or Smith? Zurdo. How people say here, Zurdo. Yeah, Zurdo. Smith, that would be good if Smith won, but Zurdo probably will. But then Zurdo, I think, is distracted because he's calling out everybody else, so you know how that goes. Thoughts on Mike's performance? Jay, the question I have is, what performance? What performance did Mike show us? He barely moved all night long. We were going to come to this. This is exactly what this was about. I just don't want to be upset. So I'm trying to think more positive about the whole event, because I just don't want to think that Mike Tyson took his ass in there just to get 20 mil, to not be prepared the right way. Because if you think about it, when I seen the knee brace, I got immediately alarmed. I got alarmed. Because I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking, well, why would he go in there injured or something wrong with him that he's already 58? You don't need insult. You don't need more than that. You don't need more issues than that. Think about it. If you're 58 years old and you got something wrong with your knee, why would you go in there? You've already postponed it before. I get that. And I know the pressure was on because maybe people were, maybe the Netflix people were trying to pull out and possibly, and, that type of stuff. But, going in there, when I seen that knee brace, I was like, well, what's that about? And it made me immediately think about Sergio Martinez. Do you guys know who that is? The Argentina boxer. He went in there. He had two of them, to be fair. But, when you see braces on boxers, that makes you think. Canelo Alvarez, what happened with him? He had cosmetic surgery, right? If only you noticed he had a bad leg. The man isn't the same again. Who noticed he stumbled during the ring walk? I noticed that too. I seen actually that this morning. Mike looked stiff, even his neck. Yeah, we all knew his neck was stiff. We knew it was big. Some Chinese guy uploaded the full fight on YouTube, but now it disappeared. But why would you put it on YouTube? It's on Netflix. You can watch it anytime you want. It's just the whole point is we wanted to watch it live. So it just shows you that Netflix needs to, they really need to up their game when they want to put something that big on. So yeah, disadvantage Netflix. Cisco Perez, very sad to see Tyson yesterday in that BS of a fight. Yeah. I mean, because we're used to seeing Mike come out ravishing, like all of his videos. You know, even the training, the mitts video with him and his Brazilian mitt man, right? Yeah, man, you know, I think of Mike, you know, Mike Tyson, and I'm thinking like when they called it off the first time, I damn near got to smiling, you know. I mean, I damn near got to smiling to the point like, okay, good, this shit's over. You know, the charades is done. You know. Jay, what's up, brother? Counterpunch in the building. Cisco Perez, what's up, brother? Thank God he's healthy. Anis Amara. Okay, that's a positive note, and I'm glad that Mike Tyson is fine. You know, I'm glad he's not hurt. You know, I'm glad he didn't get, you know, really embarrassed. Look, I can tell you this: it was better than the Evander Holyfield Vito fight. You know what I mean? Because Vito, but you understand, Vito was older too, so I think he felt justified in doing a legend like that because he was also a guy that did what he did in another sport. So I think he looked at it like, hey, UFC versus boxing kind of thing. We're both retired kind of way. So you know what I mean? But you know, so at least Jake Paul, I'll talk about him in a second. You know, at least he didn't go that way and that route. Stop glazing. He lost. Yeah, he lost. But how did he lose? How did he lose? How was he prepared to win? That's the question you ask yourself. I'm not here to talk about he lost. He was fit. No, I'm talking about the fact that this man came in there. And I don't want to use something as an excuse. Okay, that's what he said. But at the same time, bro, so many people had a lot riding on you. You guys know Showbiz lost $12,000 last night? I mean, that's not funny. That's not funny. And I'm laughing because, you know, it's like it's almost something you want to do to keep from crying. Anthony Jackson, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Jay Roos, there was no Richard Steele either. No, what happened to Richard Steele? You know? He couldn't make it from Vegas? Mike Nee stopped him closing the gap. So had zero chance. Damn, show just text. Yeah, but hey, that's the game, bro. That's why I don't gamble at all. Let me tell you guys what happened last year, okay? I lost $4,000 last year betting. I never told anybody because I was just too hurt. I lost $4,000, just like that. Lost $4,000 on a bet. And it was like, it was one of those sure things that I knew. And like you guys hear me preach, I don't gamble. And I had to remind myself why I don't gamble. I don't gamble, bro. And you know something crazy? That's exactly who I called. I called Showbiz. Man, I just lost $4,000. He said, man, you can't worry about it. You can't dwell on it. You know, you have to remember why you took the bet in the first place. So, you know, that's a reminder of him. You know, who you bet on, Kurt? I didn't bet last night. I wasn't that crazy. I wasn't that crazy. Paul needs to fight someone like Oscar Rivas. True. I mean, if he's 227 pounds, he can fight whoever he wants in the heavyweight division. He needs to stay there. Fighting Canelo, fighting these guys like that, you know, in exhibitions in 2-minute rounds. He's making $40 million. Do you think he's actually going to fight someone with a decent pulse? I ain't going to say with a pulse because that's disrespectful to Mike, but with a decent pulse, with a decent chance to beat him? You think he's really going to fight somebody like that? Jake Paul is not going to do that because he doesn't need to. And whoever fights Jake Paul, That's just like if I ever fight Jake Paul and I'm telling everybody on here that, hey, I want to make a comeback at 45 years of age, talking about being a legitimate champion, and I fight Jake Paul and get $5 million for fighting Jake Paul. Do you think I'd ever really want to fight anyone else that knows what the hell they're doing? Think about it. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Reluctant gamer, counterpunch to you. I bet on football, never bet on sports where the best man doesn't always win. I want to see Paul versus KSI. See, that may be doable. He may do that one day when there's no one else to fight, when there's no other gimmick, when there's nobody else to pull out of the ground or pull out of the retirement home, or, you know what I mean? Those type of things. You know, I just think, and I think we all believe that Tyson would do more than he did. You know what I mean? And I think it was due to him knowing damn well he had an issue, okay? He had an issue with his knee. His balance was off. If you can't move your legs, you can't box. Boxing is all about legs and balance. This dude was fumbling around like he had vertigo. Tyson had vertigo last night. I'm like, yo, what is he doing? It was rounds 3 and 4 and 5. Tyson didn't move, but like to here and to here. Stephen, exactly. It's like dancing. It's exactly what it is. It is dancing. Boxing is dancing, and you got one impaired right leg and you're right-handed, and you want to go in there and tell no one, oh, I don't want it to be an excuse. Well, you have to give people a reason to watch this shit. And people find out, wait a minute, Mike's impaired. So everybody's worried about ulcers in his stomach, which really he was telling everybody when he came in with that knee brace. Like, well, wait a minute, what's going on with Mike? What did he tweak? What did he tear? What did he injure? Okay? What did he affect in his leg that made him put that damn brace on his knee? What's going on with him? St. Don. Okay, let's see. What is it? Yeah, that's crazy. A bunch of people, yeah. But I think people thought that it was going to be fixed, so they bet on a draw to try to win them some money. But no, Jake Paul ain't playing that. He ain't going to do any draw thing, because a draw may account in him trying to fight that person again. That puts you on that level of that person. Gloves of Sweet Science. What's up, brother? Welcome to the club. Welcome to the membership. I appreciate your support. I seen that yesterday, and I thought about it after I got off the live stream. Thank you, bro, for coming and joining the membership. We have a lot of content for you, and it's adding more and more every day. I'm starting a Patreon, by the way, so you guys that are into Patreon and extra support, reach out. For those who are. Those who don't, okay, you won't. But it is what it is. Biggest Dickus. Biggest Dickus. That was funny. The mess was staged as heck. Well, to be fair, let's talk about Jake Paul for a minute. Jake Paul did everyone a favor, I think. I think he did people, and I'm seeing people all pissed off about what he did. You know what Jake Paul did? I'm going to tell you what Jake Paul did. Jake Paul did something that I didn't think that he would do. He did. You know what Jake Paul did? Jake Paul spared the humiliation of a guy that he probably knew he was injured. The question is, did he know he was injured before he got his ass in the ring? Did he know that? Maybe he got arthritis. Maybe he does. But if that's the case, you shouldn't be there. Don't call out these young kids. I don't care what you think they're about. Yeah, he's not a true boxer. Everybody knows Jake Paul is not a true boxer. He's a YouTuber that used to dance for views. He used to dance like Britney Spears for views. That's what Jake Paul's origin is. He's a YouTuber that acted clownish, that cooned, that put himself in a situation where he, it was just some of that stuff was straight out embarrassing, but he did it for views. He did whatever it took to get him views that got him millions of views, that got him millions of subscribers eventually. And that's where his origin is. It was not growing up in the school of hard knocks. It was not getting up every day, training, running, grinding, fighting, sparring, learning. He did not learn from boxing. He just decided one day when he was already rich as hell, him and Logan, hey, bro, let's become boxers because the American boxing scene is dead. So let's make a mockery out of it by using boxing as a platform and call it YouTube boxing to fight people that have no business being in the ring of boxing. That's what he did. Okay? So let's just keep a buck. But he knew, hey, how do I get better? How do I get stronger? How do I become bigger? Hey, it's called drugs. We got something for that. P-E to the D. Right? Plural. Name the other boxer that picks his own fights. Joe King, counterpunch to you. They have helped boxing in some ways. Well, no, they haven't helped boxing. They just use boxing. They have used it. It showed us that in this way, boxing in America has become so, non-required. It's not a mainstream sport. It's a sport that people go to that only watch boxing. That's why when you watch, it's so many casuals in boxing now that when I sit down with someone that doesn't know anything about boxing, that doesn't have a big ego, that are not true assholes, that are not too proud to learn anything, I educate them. And that's what you need to do. But see, some people are so casuals, they're only going to watch stuff like Mike Tyson. Man, you heard Mike Tyson got a fight coming. Yeah, that's what people do. Then they flock to the television and they watch it, or Floyd. So the biggest casual fans were Mike Tyson and Floyd because those guys were pretty much mainstream when it comes to boxing. But boxing in America is not a mainstream sport. So overall, what happened to boxing is Jake Paul was like, you know what, with my platform, I'm going to bring a lot of people to boxing because, I'm going to show them physically what I can do besides talking smack over the internet. It worked great for him. Shout out to Jake Paul. But when he started incorporating, hey, I'm the best in boxing, not YouTube boxing, not the YouTube boxing community, none of that. No. When he started claiming that I'm better than legitimate boxers and started having issues and words with true legitimate boxers, regardless of the weight class, that's when people started making and having problems with him. On top of the fact, all the money that he was bringing in using boxing as a platform. That's a different thing where it's boxers over here like the Charlos and other than everyone else except for Mayweather, Errol Spence, who else was making money? Canelo. Everyone else was pretty much starving at that point because they weren't getting fights. And people couldn't see, like, okay, you idiots don't see that Floyd's been retired since 2017 when he fought Conor McGregor. But this juggler's still getting and having exhibitions on the expense of other people's supposed salaries that they're not getting salaries and getting paid for. They're waiting for fights that they claim they don't have the money for. They're so cheap that they'll put it on pay-per-view, which the people that buy it, it's not enough to fill the cap of the guarantee that they said they were going to get in the first place. And then they suffer and they end up waiting for money months, weeks after they even fight, after they get beat up or win or whatever, right? They're still waiting for their money. Meanwhile, Floyd's getting a $20 million guarantee. I don't see how people can't see this. But then you got someone like Jake Paul coming in and using it as a platform to make millions, and people that are real fighters are like, hey, WTF, what's going on with this? If Jake Paul thinks he's a good boxer, then show us against a good boxer. He's not going to do that. Why would he do that when he doesn't have to? See, the minute Jake says, you know what, I'm going to fight someone like Zurdo Ramirez. I'm going to fight someone like, I mean, Jake could even fight, though, if he was serious. Because I know it's not really always, especially at his true level. Jake Paul's true level would be like someone that he could beat. He would have to start low, which I could respect. Okay, Jake, start with heavyweights. Start with Adam Kalnaki. Give him $2 million, and he could do that. He could finance that. And in that way, he could actually give these boxers that probably never got the money that they probably deserved based on Floyd, because, you know, like Kalnaki. Kalnaki was a PBC Showtime Al Heyman guy. So he never really got that type of money. So if he fought someone like Adam Kalnaki, yeah, I think he could probably beat Kalnaki. All he has to do is catch him, because Kalnaki's chin is shot. I think he's done. I think his durability is gone. So yeah, he could fight someone like Kalnaki, and then like Charles Martin, and then, you know, then like in time, someone like Jermaine Franklin. You see what I mean? Then he fights guys like that. Then, you know, I mean, legitimately, I mean 3 rounds. I don't mean that 2-round shit. Tony Bellew would destroy him. I don't mean someone that's retired that's still, you know, I don't know. Tony Bellew looks like he's 50. He got that salt and pepper white. And I love Tony Bellew. Don't get it wrong. I want people going back and telling, man, Kurt DeVille said you look old. No, what it is, he looks like a family man, and he looks definitely retired. But don't get it twisted. Tony Bellew would destroy Jake Paul, and he knows it. He knows that. Tony Bellew? Come on, bro. No. Who took Tony Bellew out? Alexander Usyk. Who couldn't take him out? David Haye. David Haye would destroy Jake Paul. Like, no, I'm not talking about that type of level. I'm talking about those guys that are low-hanging fruit, that either we don't even know if they're still fighting, and they've been beaten so many times that, you know, Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul too. I mean, that could happen. And I think in time, Tommy's just sitting back knowing, you know, hey, when my funds get a little low, I'm going to start calling out Jake Paul again. That's easy. So, Tommy's in a good position, because believe you me, Tommy is not fighting anybody legitimate no more. He's spoiled. He's ruined. He's entitled. He's dependent on those type of shows from here on out. As long as Jake Paul is using the platform of boxing, he knows he has a job. He knows he has a job. Is these fighters ruining boxing? Or are these fights ruining boxing? Well, I don't think they're ruining boxing. I just think they're ruining... boxing is already in a bad space in America. So you could say, well, hey, maybe that's the case. We're living in the age of shortcuts and money talking and shit boxing. Okay. I mean, I can't argue with that in America. Who's that guy has just announced a comeback, us heavyweights? Bill Mega, you're talking about Ika Bearbucci. No, you know what? Jake Paul would be smart not to deal with someone. No. I would love it for Ike, because Ike is not, understand, Ike was not a guy that's been fighting for the last 20 years. He's a guy that's been put away for the last 20 years. Like Molina, Jake versus Mark Madoff. That's still too risky for him. I don't think he would want to deal with somebody like that, because someone like that is that awkward, that big, you know. And then look, at that point, I would have to start respecting Jake, but he's not going to do that. Andy Ruiz versus Miller 2, sponsored by McDonald's and Burger King. I think you got the sponsors right. I think it would be Burger King for Miller and Snickers for Ruiz. Topentine, Ike would kill Jake. See, yeah, he wouldn't do that. I mean, because Ike is too unpredictable, and you don't really know how good he is still. And he still may be very good. You know what I mean? And the power, I think, at his age, he's what, 51? So yeah, the power's still there. That's why I know that someone like Oscar De La Hoya would destroy Eddie Hearn, but Eddie Hearn's not a fighter. Never will he ever be. I wouldn't say Taco Bell for Ruiz. I don't want to go down that route. That's stereotypical, you know. Kurt, I'm just so pissed off at people really think Jake Paul is real. He is running a hustle and people are falling for it. Well, he has the money and people are giving him money to do it. So I don't think it's necessarily Jake. It's what he's bringing in. It's what he's bringing to the table. He's bringing revenue. Do you know how much money Jake Paul made for Netflix last night? And Netflix gave us all those problems and issues, but they still made probably, bro, you know, millions, billions, bro. There was so many people last night. Millions of people watched. 300 million. Take 300 million times $3.59 and you'll have your answer. So, bro, you looked as pissed as I feel over the circus. I feel you, bro. Yeah, I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off. I'm disappointed. Because, okay, I would understand. Like, I thought it would be a type of fight like Mike would come in with the ability that he still had, showing us dips, showing us slips, showing us the peekaboo style and how to use it, showing Jake Paul what and who a true boxer is, just like he said he was going to. My issue is, this is my issue with Mike Tyson. If Mike knew damn well he was not physically prepared to say what he was going to do physically, why the fuck would he go in there? And it just keeps dawning and coming back at me that he went there for $20 million. It showed me that, you know what? He probably knew he couldn't do that. And he knew his legs were either shot or he was injured. So if he had arthritis or he had an issue, he knew that. He knew that. He was the only one that could have knew that if nobody knew that. I bet you that little tight-ass circle around him knew that. Then if they knew he could not perform, even at 58, like a 58 years old guy could do with working limbs, why did he go in there? And the answer keeps coming back to me with disappointment for $20 million. So he went there for 20 million, people. He didn't want to show us how good he was because he knew he could not perform at a level that he possibly could perform. My question to everybody would be, if this man didn't have the issues with his brace on his leg or his legs or whatever, could he have done something better? And I have to believe yes. I have to believe that if Mike Tyson was not impaired or injured or just old as hell with the arthritis issues, he would have done better, and I think he would have. Now, past 3, I still said that he would have got beat because he wouldn't have had the stamina to keep doing those physical things for a long period of time. I said that. I said that Mike Tyson would not be able to keep up. I said that Mike Tyson couldn't be able to do that as rounds 4, rounds 5, round 6. I don't think he could have. And then Jake Paul would have been like, you know what? This guy's gas tank. He's gassing out. So I knew that. I figured that. And I was like, you know what, Mike Tyson? You know, job well done, because at least he tried for 3 rounds. But in this case, he couldn't even do what he couldn't fulfill the ability at 58 hurt like that. And I'm pissed. Paul was running around the ring. He was. Topentine, he was. Now let's talk about Paul for a minute. Now, how much credit should I give Paul for doing what he did? Or should I say going a route that he didn't have to take? See, Paul could have been unmerciful because he knew, like, hey, I'm going to show this guy exactly how a 27-year-old beats the hell out of a 58-year-old. I'm going to show him. I'm going to show Mike. And I'm going to use this platform in front of 300 million people to make it my business to beat up a 58-year-old guy that's almost a senior citizen. I'm going to, on television, make people hate me when I beat the hell out of Mike Tyson knowing that he can barely move. He could have done that and he didn't. But then the question you ask yourself, well, okay, well, whoa. How much credit do you give him? Yeah, I look at him different now, but I can't give him too much credit. Why? Because he was avoiding getting hit. So you could say, well, he knew he's not an idiot. He doesn't want to get hit by Mike because he doesn't want, because if you get hit by a punch that you're not ready for, what happens then? You either go to sleep or you get hurt very bad, and then you're really running for the locker room, right? So it's a lot of ways you can look at this fight. You can look at this fight like, hey, you know what? Maybe Jake, he was running scared. Yeah, he was scared. He was definitely cautious. He was scared. So it isn't like he tried to take it to Mike Tyson right where Mike Tyson was, because even if he lands and he throws 4 punches on Mike, like was happening, and Mike lands 1, all it takes is that 1, because this is the heavyweight division. So I don't think that Mike Tyson's power's gone yet. I think his balance was gone before we even knew what the power level was in the first place. How the hell are we going to know if Tyson can still punch if he can't walk? Come on, can I get a counterpunch? How do we know if Tyson's punching power is gone if he can't walk? Jake was never scared. Skywalker, you're on crack. That man stayed far back from Tyson as he possibly could, rounds 1 through about rounds 4. Because he knew those were the rounds that if Mike was going to do something, anything at all, he was going to do it in those 3 rounds. Based on a person at 58 that used to box. But my thing is, if he had an arthritis, if he had bad knees, if he was impaired like that, where some type of underlying conditioning, why the hell did he go in there? And it keeps coming back to me. For $20 million. So the question is, is Mike doing it for the fights? Because the fight performance was piss poor. Are you doing it for the cash? You could say both. That could get you away with certain things, but integrity-wise, you're looking at like, well, wait a minute, Mike. I thought it ain't about the money. That's why I didn't believe that he would take a dive. You know what I mean? I didn't think he was going to take a dive because Mike, why would Mike take a dive? He got mansions all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Mike can do whatever the hell Mike wants to do. Mike has went rock bottom and has came back up. He owns a weed farm. He distributes weed all around the world. Yes, he doesn't need money. You know what I mean? But it's like, okay, are you doing it because you don't need the money, or you're doing it for the love of money? That's a big difference. See, now we're getting a little deeper and spiritual. We're getting spiritual now, because it's like, yeah, it's for the money, but it's like, okay, for what? You're building it so you'll never have it, but you don't need it anyway. So are you just purely doing it for the love of money? Because you say, I'm doing it because I'm a gladiator. I'm doing it because I want to show boxing and retire this kid. That sounds good, but at the end of the day, you weren't physically able because you had something wrong with you. So how would you want people to believe that you were able to do that? Was it arrogance? Was it the mindset of knowing that this kid can possibly, he's going to do something even with my impaired damn leg, and I'm still going to be able to knock him out? Maybe that's it. Disappointments from yesterday. I'm going to put them in order, okay? Let me break it down to you guys. The first disappointment was Netflix. Netflix could not handle the capacity. Number 2, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson came in there with something going on with his damn knee, with a knee brace on, giving it away. See, if he didn't need that knee brace, he wouldn't have worn it. I'm going to say that again. If he did not, Bill Mega, I love Michael Jai White versus Jake Paul. That would be a dope fight, but he's not dumb any. That would be a good fight. That's probably what Jake would do. We'll talk about that here in a second. But I'm driving a point home here. If Mike Tyson wouldn't have needed that knee brace, he wouldn't have wore it. I have to tell people that. See, I wear a knee brace when I work out because I need that shit for support. If I'm doing squats at the gym I'm going to need that knee brace if I know I'm going to do something strenuous. Mike could have coached another amateur to go against Jake Paul and still be great. AJ versus John Jones, both ducking their opponents but can generate a ton of money. Paul versus Briggs. Briggs has always been like, especially in his later years, he's been stiff. He's been in shape like he's powerful. I wouldn't want to get hit by Shannon Buchanan, nor Mike Tyson by that matter. But, now it's like, it's just an old guy that has bad knees, you know. Pragmatically, we look at stuff now different when people get older. That's why older people are so discriminated against. 3 disappointment in the judges in Taylor versus Serrano. Okay, the third one, Taylor versus Serrano. Thank you for getting me back on track because I tend to do that. Rear off the main topic, okay? Ask a lot of people. Virgin. Okay, listen. Those were the 3 things. Netflix, Tyson's performance, and the Serrano fight. And let's talk about the Serrano-Katie Taylor fight. It was a good fight, like I thought it was going to be. The scorecards were whack. I don't know what it is. And like I tell people in the live last night, Serrano's going to have to knock out Katie if she can. If she can't knock her out, she can't win because Katie's not the type of fighter that allows you to just beat up on her. You may get good punches. You may get good licks. You may land good combinations. She's a like fight or flight type of chick. All or nothing. No retreat, no surrender. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Serrano's going to have to knock her out to beat Katie Taylor. I mean, I'm sorry. Just, that's what's going to happen. She's not getting a win off Katie Taylor. Because Katie Taylor at 38 with the neck of steel is still too talented for her to win a decision. She's going to have to do something spectacular. I'm sorry. Katie is much younger. Well, how old is Amanda? Katie is naturally bigger, so Serrano KO on her is highly unlikely. No, I don't think so. Based on the first fight, I think she needs to stop holding. She needs to catch Katie and take a step back, not catch her with 2 shots to stun her, because that's what she does, and then comes in and smothers her own progress. She does somewhat like Sean Porter does. Okay, Katie Serrano's 36. I mean, Amanda Serrano's 36. Katie's 38. So how the hell is she older than? How is she older than Katie? Katie's older. Yeah, exactly. Skrilla 50. So I don't know what that is. She's older. No, I mean, yeah. At 38, like I said, with that neck, with those calves, with that balance, with that heart, with those skills, it's hard to get a decision against someone that's fast like that still knows how to fight, that won't give up. Taylor does slap, but she throws quick punches to get out of dodge. Close fight didn't take the belts from Taylor, in my view. The fight was close, so the champ keeps the belts. Let's do this. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Taylor does headbutt, bro. I looked at that again. She does lean in with her head, and she needs to stop that. And that should have been. I'm glad the point was deducted to show that, hey, yo, this chick has a problem, bro. She's Katie Holyfield, Taylor. Katie Taylor was built in a lab. Canelo's neck, Pacquiao's calves, and Ricky Hatton's build. Skrilla 50, that was a good one, brother. I think Amanda landed the bigger shots, but Katie threw a lot more and landed. I mean, not based on the CompuBox, the total punch stats. No. The total punch stats reflected that she landed 324 compared to 217. That's crazy. When I saw that, I was like, oh, wow. I only saw like 30% of the fight because of Netflix. God of War. I mean, I can't argue with you. Honestly, I don't think Mike is taking this boxing stuff seriously anymore. He's just getting paid. That's all. Sammy Thompson, I think, well, if this is what he's doing, and I don't think I wouldn't argue with you, because if a man knows that he cannot fight, but he knows he's getting paid, what is he going to do? He's going to go in and get paid. He's going to give us a shit show. His performance is going to be weak and very, very flat and disappointing. But he's going to get his check for showing up. Yeah. So now we look at Tyson, damn near half asleep at the press conference, looking like a grandpa, suffering from narcolepsy, those type of things. Now you put all that together, in the court of law, and if this was a courtroom, we would have to say and rule to a jury, people, that Mike Tyson is guilty of that shit. Mike Tyson may have just came to get $20 million, to be looked at. And guess what? He doesn't even care about what people think. Remember what he said? I don't care what people think about me. I just care about what I think I can do. That type of shit. I kind of sounded like young Mike then, because he was not looking and sounding like young Mike last night. AJ did the same. AJ got beat up, bro. AJ got beat up. AJ got paid, sure, but he got beat up, though. I mean, at least he did land a couple punches. Okay, Michael Jai White. Okay, yeah. Michael Jai White, yes. I would actually bet for Michael Jai White to knock out Jake Paul. But Jake Paul knows better than that. But Jake Paul would try to do that because, see, understand, Michael Jai White is 56. Okay, so hold on. 70 to 2000, that's 30 years. 2000 to 2020, that's 50 years. It's 2024, that's 54 years. 67, he'll be 57. So yeah, he's still 56. I don't think he had his birthday yet. Yeah, Paul boxed very cautiously, so understand this too. You can't give Jake too much credit, because at the same time, you can't have went easy with someone that you were cautious with. Understand that. You can't make that make sense. Well, I took it easy on him. No. You knew that I am being cautious with Mike because I don't want Mike to knock me out, because I know, regardless of what I have done in this fight, I know not to do certain things. So he knew not to cross Mike Tyson. He knew, let me stop before I make a mockery out of myself, because guess what? That could have happened. And if Mike would have belted him, people would have been like, oh shit, that's what have happened. And he knew better. So for him saying I took it easy on Mike, well, look, you can't give him too much credit. And I think he didn't try to go and press the gas when he could have and try to close the show, because he knew that, hey, that could have backfired on his ass. He knew that too. So before we start saying, oh man, good job, Jake. Look, Jake didn't just try. Jake knew, hey, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep it safe. I'm going to keep it safe. I'm going to play it safe. And he played it safe. So how do you, he probably, I let off Mike Tyson because I knew I didn't want to engage with Mike Tyson, because that would be very dumb. But Mike, I'm disappointed in Mike Tyson, because if he knew he was hurt, he should have never showed up. But then again, if I'm 58 years of age and I got a chance to make $20 million, and I know I still got a jacked up left leg, I might get the money. I might go for the bag, man. Because if I knew, like, hey, I can't fight because I have to, because understand, that's a long process. You got to get your knee cut open. They got to fix whatever's in there with artificial stuff. It has to heal. So you have to sit on your ass for what? Weeks and weeks right? Then you have to go back to then you got to have physical training. Then you have to do the training and conditioning for the fight. Then you got to set the fight. So, yeah, Mike wanted that money, and Mike said, hell with everybody. That's what Mike did. Months sometime. Exactly, Topentine. That takes a while. And Mike, I didn't want it to be an excuse. Bro, it's a reason. It's a reason why you shouldn't have went in there. He shouldn't have went in there. Mike looked his age during the ring walk. Yes, he was just an old man coming to get a check. An honorary pallbearing check. He went in there, and if that was the case, Jake Paul caught him with some good shots. He did. Did he carry him? I think that's a kind of a loaded question, because I think he didn't try to hurt Mike like he could have. Like, especially the last round. He didn't want to, because he knew, well, I don't want to hurt Mike, but then I don't know how much of that is him not trying to get hurt by Mike. Okay? So we don't know. Mike got paid, though. See, look, draw 30%, Serrano 40%, Taylor 30%. So listen, that's just too close to call. So that, like, a fight that close, you can't be mad at a fight like that. Okay? KD, you sounded like Frotch, salty. I am salty. Oh, I'm salty. Oh yeah. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, it's everything. No, I'm salty. Because Mike's supposed to be doing this for the warrior in him, because he still feels he can do it, because he has fight left, because he thinks there is something left within me to show the world, not just to show up to get paid. You guys understand me? Not just to show up to get paid. Those Paul punches were knockout punches, though. Well, understand, Topentine, those Paul punches were knockout punches to a lower weight class, not to a heavyweight. See, everybody's talking about Mike Tyson's power, right? But how do we know that Jake Paul has knockout punch power at heavyweight? We don't know that yet. You got to understand, if we gave Alexander Usyk shit about doubting his punching power because he's not an original or a natural heavyweight, why aren't we saying the same thing about Jake Paul? We should be. Because he's fighting in a different weight class that he's not accustomed to fighting in. Okay? Scared Thugs OG. Mike sold out. Oh, man. I don't even want to say it like that. I love Mike. Childhood idol got humbled and we refused to see it. Well, not if he was already shot to shit. But that doesn't mean he wasn't still humble, because he didn't have to be in there. He didn't have to show up. He didn't have to sign the contract. If he had arthritis in his knees and he's had that prior and he just looked good for the exam to get the fight made, okay, well, that's his ass. But he still got paid. Bars! Had to turn it somewhere, bro. Greedy Belly isn't doubting Usyk's punching power. No, he ain't doing that no more. He knows better than that. Because he knows what fatigue means. He knows what pressure means. He knows the benefits of pressure, of a pressure fighter, of what Usyk did. Usyk took shots to get Tyson where he needed to have Tyson. Okay? So, listen, I think we need to get past this Mike shit, because I'm hurting. Mike, yeah, I grew up on watching Mike for many years. For many years. I mean, since the 80s, since the 90s, since the 2000s, since the meltdowns, all the meltdowns, to the comebacks in the Hangover movies, to the weed Mike, to the hot boxing with Mike, to the Roy Jones Jr. Mike, to the Mike now. I'm still going to support Mike Tyson. I still love Mike Tyson. But saying all that, I am disappointed in Mike, because Mike shouldn't have been in there, because I would want him to save his legacy, which he states he cares nothing about. And if he's only doing it for the money, I think he needs to really realize why people would believe that he has anything to offer in the sport of boxing besides the same shit we saw, especially against someone young like that. He shouldn't have never taken the fight. But then again, if he did it for the money, you can't sit here and say he did it for the warrior or the gladiator within, because that's bullshit. He did it for the money. He did it for the money. We already know, everybody knows that Mike would have destroyed Jake Paul on any given Sunday, any type, probably up to 3 or 4 years ago, probably up to a year ago. But he can't do it now because Mike Tyson decided to come in the ring and not really give us a full effort because his ass was hurt. He was not 100%. In fact, what is 100% of a 58-year-old? We don't know. Maybe 40%? So he didn't even come in at that. He didn't even come in at 40%. He might have came in at 25, expecting Jake at 27 years of age to be on that level of a person that's injured. I'm hurting. I'm sad about it. I don't intend to make more videos about Mike, but I might if something happens. But I'm doing this live to just, kind of sulk, waddle, pine in the fact that someone that we seen and known and respected and loved and admired got beat by a goddamn YouTuber. Yeah. I don't care what happens in the video. I mean, a lot of people, I'm going to use profanity because, they demonetize my shit anyway. So, hey, whatever. He got beat by a goddamn YouTuber. He did. And he allowed people to see us, millions of people, get beat by a goddamn YouTuber. A fucking YouTuber. Yeah, it's on record. It can't be reversed. Yep, we seen it. All right, Adi Alias. Yeah, money talks, but come on, bro. It's the end of American heavyweights. Not the very end, but the ass end of American heavyweights. I'm not going to say the end, but the ass end, because everybody's going to UFC. Everybody's learning jiu-jitsu. Everybody's learning how to wrestle. Not punch, not box, but strike and kick and knee and shit. So, yeah, it's the ass end, people. Rod Brown, yeah, he ripped us off. He did. He did it for the money. I did it for the money. He's 58 years old. He's grabbing his junk, so hey, you know what I mean? His sword still works, so he's probably living it up, killing his wife. I'm going to take you home and I'm going to break your back. I'm going to break your back spinal. That's what I'm going to do to you. Bite by YouTuber and make 20 million. That's crazy. But then again, if he was doing it for the money, he couldn't say he was doing it only for the money, could he? Because people wouldn't believe that shit. So he had to sell it in some kind of way, because in that way, Mike Tyson is a showman, and he showed our ass how he could sell a fight and show up and do absolutely nothing to earn $20 million. $20 million. Kurt, Mike could care less about his legacy. Yeah, it said Mike hasn't been Mike for years. Yep, he doesn't care. He got $20 million. He didn't need that loot, Jeff Kendall. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't believe you. Mike ain't broke, bro. And if Mike's broke, he ain't broke now. Mike at home eating steaks, relaxing on his couch. He doesn't care about boxing anymore. I mean, he could just cut off. I mean, and understand, Mike is not our age. Mike is older than some of us. But understand, if you're 58, you don't care about social media. You're not looking at YouTube. You're not looking at Twitter. You're not looking at Instagram. You're not looking at Facebook. You're not looking at any of this shit. You know what I mean? You can tune off and just watch a movie at home. Home of homes. You know what I mean? A lot of those guys are not in tune with a lot of shit. They don't care about what people think, and I don't think Mike gives a damn. Mike got $20 million, and they cut him a check last night before he left. So he got rode home in his luxury SUV, Escalade or whatever, Rolls Royce, Bentley or whatever the hell they rolled up on him, and damn, could have been a limousine. You know, he's at home chilling right now, probably getting a full body massage, because that's what I would be getting. Kurt, Jake Paul versus AJ. No. Bro, Anthony Joshua would decapitate Jake Paul with one shot. The one punch AJ would land. He wouldn't have to land much. It wouldn't last long. It might last a couple rounds if Jake pulls that, let me get away from him, but he's a shorter guy fighting someone 6'6", not someone 5'10". Let's stop that. He will not beat anyone like AJ. He will not probably beat anyone like Deontay. He wouldn't deal with anyone like Andy Ruiz. Those kind of guys are real fighters. He's not on that level. So stop talking and making fights fighter because we're mad that he beat up Mike. I know what we're doing. I know what you guys are doing. You're mad because he lost. Mike Tyson lost because he wanted to get paid because he wasn't ready to enter the ring. He was not ready to enter the ring. He wasn't ready to enter the ring. He wanted that money, though, didn't he? So it wasn't about having the best effort or putting on the best performance. It was about getting paid, and Mike got that. Beterbiev made the offer. What offer? What offer did Beterbiev make? Andy Ruiz would want the opportunity versus Jake Paul. You bet he would. You know, and you know they're friends too, right? Jake Paul and Andy Ruiz are friends. You know, Andy Ruiz started his claim to fame with the Pauls. He hung out with the Pauls and ate sushi off of naked chicks. I want the meat closer to the vagina. I like it. People, please stop this nonsense about Jake Paul fighting real fighters. Smooth Will, thank you. Thank you, Smooth Will. Smooth Will in the building. Regulator. Mount up. Yeah, man. And people are still doing it. What about Mark McCauley versus Paul? Bro, how about Paul versus nobody real? How about that? Let's stop that. You know what I mean? Let's stop that. So it is what it is. Maybe Jack Paul can beat you, Kurt. You know something? I don't believe that. I don't believe Jake Paul could beat me in a fight, but I don't believe Jake Paul, better conversation to have would be, he wouldn't be stupid enough to fight someone like Kurt DeVille. He would not fight a Silver Gloves champion or someone that actually knows how to fight. He would not fight me. He would not fight me. I was a welterweight, but he would not fight me. I'm a heavyweight. He's a heavyweight. He would not fight me. Jake Paul would not do that because Jake would just throw it to the wind like, look, I know nothing about Kurt DeVille. I know nothing about Counterpunch Boxing News. I don't want to fight anyone that's 6'2", 235 pounds. Why would I do that? Why would I fight someone at 45 years of age? Now, if I was 55, yeah, he would probably call me up. Hey, Kurt. Hey, man, we want to offer you an opportunity. You want to fight Jake and get knocked out for $500,000? I'll give you that. If I was 55. 45, you'll hear crickets. You won't hear anything. You wouldn't hear a damn thing. You wouldn't hear a dime. You wouldn't hear anything from Jake Paul because Kurt DeVille is too young. Kurt is a stunt man. Look me up. Google me. Whatever you need to do. You know I'm the real deal. Oh, yeah. I'm a martial artist, too. So that may get him. Like, he's not a boxer. He's a martial artist. Yeah, I'm a martial artist. Let's trick him. I'm a martial artist, Jake. Fight me. I wouldn't stand in one fucking circle and not move like Mike did at 58. And you give Mike 20 million. So basically you gave Mike 20 million because of his name, because of his reputation, his legacy. He wouldn't fight me and he knows it. Like, hey, I ain't fighting that dude. What am I look like? You know? I mean, at this point, you know, he's looking at himself like the GOAT, right? Jake looks at himself like the GOAT. Throw a simple people a solid. Throw me a solid, I'll fight you. I'll fight him for $2 million. 500,000 is too cheap. I'll fight him for 2 million. You know, Uncle Sam's going to take $1 million anyway, so you got to get something out of it. Let him fight Dubois for a wake-up call. Nah. You got to pay Dubois, though. Dubois getting paid. And Dubois getting laid. In the streets for fight, no doubt you take him. Jake Paul in the street ring is a different story. He's been training and active by top trainers, and Paul is a very good power. Well, yeah, street fight is a totally different thing. I mean, for one thing, fighting Jake Paul in a street fight is unrealistic too, because Jake Paul has entourage, security. So I mean, that's not realistic. That's like saying, "Hey, I'll fight Mike Floyd in a street fight." Floyd has 10 big ass dudes around him. You're not even going to touch Floyd. You're going to fight 2 of his bodyguards. If you can even take one, you got 9 more. No. Yeah, my fruit is not that long. It's not hanging that low. So, Bud whoops Paul. Of course he does. But Cauley might get Dubois if there's enough money in it. Might get Dubois. Well, Turkey has to provide the money. They have to agree with the money. And that's how it's going to have to be. So, Mike Tyson, you know, the end of a legacy or whatever. I do want him to be held accountable for not showing up the best condition that he possibly could. Because nobody wants to see a half-assed performance based on an injury. So, you know, that's why I'm disappointed in Mike, because I know he can do better than that, even at 58. Kurt, all of us in the chat will be your bodyguards. Mama Lou, counterpunch to you. So, you guys, I'm going to get off of here, but I just wanted to speak my piece about this Mike Tyson, Jake Paul thing. I will do some videos at some point today. Stay tuned for that. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Love you guys, and everyone has been Counterpunch. Peace!